Yeah, there's that. Um, and and then basically, that's one of the things, you know. Uh, it's very tough, and once you recognize a narcissist, it's best to keep that person. Once you recognize a narcissist, it's something that you want to think twice. You might think that you can, heal that person, and you might be able to. Uh, Let me say this right now. That might be possible for you to heal them, but good luck with that one. Very good luck. And the thing is, you can want them to change. You can, you can, you can, you can want them to change the most. And you can give them the tools for them to change. But if they don't want to change, they're not going to change. And that's the thing. The narcissist is so set in their ways, and it works for them, because they get what they want. You know, they get whatever they want, obviously, because they keep on acting. They keep on, they keep up these patterns of behavior, and they don't look and they don't want it, and they don't seek change. Um, so that's that's something that you have to think a lot about. Um, Probably best if you recognize one from the get-go and you're not really invested with them emotionally, physically, or you don't have any kids with them. Probably best thing to do if you see a narcissist is to run in the opposite direction. Now if you're invested with them in some way, depends on the degree of narcissism and their willingness to change. You might be able to have a semblance of a healthy relationship. Yet again, however, that's a tall, very tall order. It's something that this person, a narcissist, has to very much work at, very much with themselves. They have to look for some kind. They have to look how to heal themselves. That inner child core wound that they have. They have to find out. They have to they have to heal that, and they have to want to heal that. And so, and most narcissists, it takes work to do that. And narcissists, most of the time, they have to want to put in the work, and most narcissists probably don't want to, put in the work. They don't. They're so accustomed in their ways. They don't see the damage they do, and even if they do see the damage, they probably think they probably think it's very rare for a narcissist to change. I'm not saying it's impossible, because probably are some narcissists that do heal themselves somehow. You know, um, and they go and find ways to heal that inner child. Though that's probably the exception to and not the rule. So, anyways, if you meet one, it's probably best. You know, it's probably best to get away from these to run away. Uh, yeah, it's something else, man. Hopefully, you will never have to meet these have to meet them, and that's why it's good to know the red flags, study narcissists, you know, and their patterns of behavior and the red flags that you can see, and that's what happens. So And you can't go by the way they they treat other people. Oh, they're such a nice person. How they treat such and such and such and such. Well, those narcissists, they probably receive something um, from them. They probably get some kind of something from them. For them to treat them like that, they probably some kind of benefit, some kind of. For a narcissist, everything is transactional. Everything is 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 like that. They don't see people as objects. They don't see people for human beings. They see them for sources of money, of you know um, whatever that money, houses, etc., etc., etc. So that's the thing. You can't go again by how narcissists act with other people. They're just very good actors. They're very good actors. It's it's something that narcissists, they have it. They're they have it down, and they mimic you. You know, they mimic you during the love bombing stage, and and they'll they'll see you have an interest in blue socks, and they'll start wearing blue socks, and you have an interest in in Harry Potter, and then suddenly they'll have an interest in Harry Potter, and so they'll go ahead and mirror you, and and you'll think, wow, this person has the same likes in me, and such, and we're on the same vibe and peak frequency. Yeah, awesome. And they're just playing you. They were just mimic you on purpose, because a narcissist will play you like that. They know that they will gain some. They will gain, uh, you know, rapport with you when you have like interests. They will gain. You know, they will go ahead and do that, and that's something they do. They do that for connecting with you, to try to seem to have a connection, because most of the time when what they connect most of the time they connect with you in the most superficial ways, and they're emotionally unavailable most of the time. you know mm. They're just emotionally unavailable because of their inner child trauma. They don't have the ability. They don't have that ability, and they don't have that ability because of because of who because of their childhood experiences. And they think they're not worthy of love. you know Somehow in their inner, that got internalized with them, and such, and since they're not worthy of love, you know they uh, they they harbor a lot of anger. you know and that's something that that's their core wound. They think they're not worthy of love. Something something to ponder. Yeah, that's basically it. On the narcissist core wound thing, they have this problem, and that's how they get into these modes. You know of they get into these patterns of behavior. It's a survival mechanism, basically. Yeah, you might ask, and how that's a survival mechanism? Well, my experience with them tells me, that's they at the very core wound of a narcissist is, is that inability to, they think they're not worthy of being loved, you know. And so as they're not worthy of being loved, then, they they have these issues. um so that's the thing. Once you have someone that has this mentality, it's very hard, and they're used to it. It's a very, you know it's something hard for them to it's something hard for them to change. It's not impossible. They have to heal themselves, and so it's basically these these kind of negative, harmful views, you know uh, that they have internalized, you know um, and I think I'll cover that in a future video. What are the narcissist core wounds, and how, and what do they think about that, anyways. That's what makes them act like who they are, so anyway, and changing that is to deal with the inner child, and doing this and doing some healing, some inner work, so it's kind of, it's like that, the way, it's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Yep. And what I want to say, in other words, is basically be careful out there, you know and 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 verify, and read up on narcissists, and the red flags, and how to find out, you know um and how to identify narcissists, you know and the types of narcissists. There's different types. There's covert and overt. And covert narcissists are the more damaging, I would like to think. They're the ones that say, oh, look at this person, and they keep a certain facade, whatever, and a certain appearance, of niceness and everything, and behind the scenes, they're not that nice person. Actually, they're the opposite. They're very insulting and damaging, and and that's the covert narcissist. So it's very, it's those are all the adaptations, of what, of someone who's had a damaged childhood. It's so important. This is so noteworthy, how important the childhood is for someone in their personality, uh, development. It's so important. It's the most important thing, to have a healthy childhood. You know, because on the other hand, because if you don't, well, there you go. Those are the issues you might have. And um, you know, it's so important to realize this. The childhood is very important on the personality development, and emotional development of someone. Because narcissists are basically, just these children. It's just emotion. They're just adults who are stuck in this, who are stuck in the maturity, emotional maturity of someone who is maybe 5 years old. I don't know, 6 years old maybe. That's the emotional maturity that they have. basically, basically, you know, how would you know how they have? Well, I lived with one for 7 years, and well, not all the 7 years, but I was married to one for 7 years, and and that's basically how they are. You know, they 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 don't know how to, as a 7 year old does. They don't know how to be. You know, I don't know. So I guess some 7 year olds can be very advanced for for what it's worth. So, anyways, their emotional maturity is very low. They might have a high emotional intelligence, which is another thing. You know, they might have, like, um, they may very good at reading people's, you know about reading people's emotions and stuff like this, out of necessity. You know, and they may, out of necessity, well, not necessarily, but they might be very highly emotional intelligent, very social intelligent, very intelligent socially. You know, um, so it's something that you have to look out for. Um, very much so. So it's very important to know these narcissistic, you know, tendencies, and how to identify them, and how to test people also. How to tell them, hey, and sometimes disagree with someone. If you think you're seeing someone romantically, or if you're seeing someone romantically, have a disagreement with them, see how they react, because narcissists will most likely, they don't like those, they don't like to be, to be disagreed with. So, there's some stuff you can do to find out. Sometimes it's sometimes they will, uh you know they will pass your test, and mm, um they won't out themselves right there, knowing that they have to bite their lip, and play along, for the purposes of getting what they want, of playing you, and having their source. you know so yeah, and there's basically, like, stages in the narcissistic relationship. The love bombing phase I already mentioned, I think. Then there's the devalue stage, when they finally got you hooked. you know and then the devalue stage is when they start to express their internal anger, and you know and go ahead and discard. This is just, uh and they just vet you, and they use you as a punching bag, emotionally and physically. So, you know so it is what it is. So, uh and that's where they let their true colors shine, in the discard phase, I'm sorry, the devalue stage. And then once they get what they want, or they don't get what they want, they'll be looking for the discard. They'll be looking, you know they'll go ahead and be looking for the way out. They might discard you, or they feel maybe a little guilty about it. They might do a reverse discard, like I talked about. They'll make you, end the relationships. So you might want to check out, this expert on narcissists. Her name is Ramani Durbasula, and you can look her up on YouTube. Her name's I think she if you search for, Dr. Ramani, um, on YouTube, narcissism, you'll find her. She's very good, and she's like an expert on this, and knows and has a lot of videos, and I think she has even a course and stuff that you can a paid course that you can study for for more knowledge on this kind of stuff, you know. And that's the thing, you know. Narcissists, they're narcissists that are, you know, uh, they're sociopaths and they're psychopaths, and sometimes, you know, these are all words that used to describe behaviors, but you know, these behaviors, they can be this um, these behaviors can be differentiated, differentiated, yeah. uh, you know, narcissists, they may have a little bit of remorse, you know. And that's the thing with narcissists, they can, like I said, they might have a little bit of remorse, and they might do and they don't want to, you know. That's what makes them, they have a little bit of it seems of this. And then you have sociopaths, um, or psychopaths, but the psychopaths very much don't have any remorse, you know. They do stuff very cold, very coldly, you know, without any feelings or emotion. They don't have any remorse. That's one of the differences of narcissists and psychopaths. Now you can have both. You can have a narcissist and a psychopath, or you might have just a narcissist. You know, it depends very much on um, that quality of remorse. A narcissist will have a little bit of remorse, and you know, a psychopath will not. They would not. Um, you know, narcissists have. They're also very good liars. They are very experienced at lying. They have almost like a pathological lying. Um, they a behavior. They could be also pathological liars. My ex-wife was a pathological liar for everything, for things that don't really matter, things that aren't really impactful. She just lied. She just had to lie. That's like, what do you gain with lying about something so insignificant? That's pathological. That's someone who's pathologically lying. That's someone who just lies, lies, like breathing. You know, it's just, and so easily. It's wow. I've never seen. I had never seen someone like this. When I really got like a lot of information on these kind of behaviors by having this relationship. You know, with my ex-wife. Um, they very much fall apart upon criticism or feedback. You know, you can you can't tell you can't give the narcissist any kind of constructive criticism, because they'll take it as an insult. They'll take it, you know, um, they will go ahead and take it as an attack. You know, so they're so, excuse me, the narcissist has a the person who exhibits these qualities has so much anger on them that you can't give them any kind of feedback, you know, because they'll take it a negative kind of feedback. They'll take it as an or constructive feedback. Sometimes they'll take it as an attack, you know. And there's a core self-esteem issue there, you know. They don't, somehow they have some issues there, you know. They have a core self-esteem issue. They probably don't love them. They probably see themselves as not being able to receive love, something like that. And so this causes all uh this is the cause of all their issues, you know. um so You know, they probably have a core belief of I'm worthless. I'm you know, and from there, some they probably have some kind of inner child uh, limiting belief, just like this one. Um, yeah, narcissists basically, you know, narcissists also they're motivated to get validation. Uh, you know, uh, they're very hypocritical. Well, what do I know about this? You might say, validation thing. Well, validation is like being recognized, um, and having, and so, uh, to try to get people to validate their point of view, to understand their point of view, to acknowledge their point of view, and kind of like say, oh well, yeah, well, it makes sense that this person that you insulted this person because you because they criticized you, trying to get someone to give a justification for their damaging behaviors, when all they were doing was just being very when all the other person was just trying to offer some constructive feedback, and they were just too sensitive about too sensitive to receive this feedback. So yeah, I mean, and they're very charming. At the on a superficial level, they're the most charming person you can meet, almost by far. They will charm your socks off, and uh, they're very they're very social, and and as they're charming, a lot of people, they feel attracted to their charm, you know uh you know they think that rules don't apply to them, uh you know and they will always try to get an emotion out of you. They will try to get a rise from you, and you might say, well, how do you know? I live with that man. I know when someone goes and says something to you, they're just looking to get a reaction out of you. They just want you to. They feed off of that. They need that source, of they need that source of attention sometimes, of insulting you, so that so that source of feeling superior. They have like an inferiority complex because they insult you, or they diminish your value. Oh, you're such a dirty person, or you're such a stupid person, or this and that. And they do that because by saying that to you, they feel like, oh, I'm the smarter person. I'm the cleaner person. You know I'm the smarter person. So that's the thing with narcissists. Yeah. uh there are very there are many expressions. um uh, they're like basically scammers. They basically scam you. They basically scam empathetic people. Nice. So I would say I would say beware. Uh, they want to feel like they have won. So once you give them what they feel like, if you give them what they want, what they need to have feel like they have won, you know, they might leave you. uh, once you give them that, they might change their behavior. I'm not sure in which way, but uh, they would probably want to get whatever they want, they desire, of course. Um, so yeah, I think I'll talk about these on another on a future video. The narcissist inner core wound, how which is we'll go more in depth on that one. I'll go more in depth on what causes these behaviors. I'll do I'll go also try to go into, perhaps, I don't know if it's for another video. There are um so many behaviors that they exhibit, that I don't know if that's also another video unto themselves. Um, you know, uh, so yeah, that's basically it. That was my history on, basically, my experience with narcissism, my history with them, some kind of brief overview, general, basics on it, and uh, you know, um, causes and ways to prevent, getting scammed by these kind of persons. Um, so I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Once again, um, beware, keep of these behaviors, and uh, peace.